Hello everybody, welcome back to another Scottish News Network News Report. I'm your host here, King PJ. We're back again after being gone for 4 or 5 months from the last Scottish News Network News Report. I know you love the upload schedule. I figured out how to use OBS and we're on PC now recording the news reports instead of on the PS5 or 4. So that means whole new intro, whole new outro, shit's ballin', I'm having fun, and I'm going to have to recreate a whole shit ton of music to use for the news channel. So, besides that, I got a bunch of news for you guys today. We got conflicts that have already stirred up within Scotland being back for a month and a half, but honestly, that's not too surprising. And a possible reinitiation of the Project program that was once held by Scotland, like Project A and Project Z, which saw the results of Angel Island and Azalea expeditions, which were quite fun for the people involved and allowed for a lot of outside interaction with other people. But first, we'll do a little crash course history of what happened to get us here. So, one, Scotland kind of fell apart, and a lot of the Scots that ended up to slip out during the collapse ended up in a place that was nicknamed A Thousand Blessings. And I established a nice little place called Livingston. And, what's it called? Sal decided to betray me. And I ended up in a 1v9. And I absolutely murdered every single one of them. So, I always have the W, you know. I don't lose, I don't die. And then, I kind of just wandered back here. So now Scotland's back, and it's better than ever. And with that, since I'm back, a lot of people also follow back. And the first thing that happened was Genoa built a fort right outside of Kelty on an island that they were given on the map. And it caused a lot of tension, putting basically Rosemarkie and Genoa right against each other, and Queensferry not liking Rosemarkie, and that's now under the Gun Clan, and the Gun Clan's a whole new clan. So basically, the Gun Clan replaced the Sky Clan, and the Gun Clan's actually experienced PvPers, while the Sky Clan was incompetent. Right? Good summary. And Queensferry's been seeing a mass expansion, right? That I can't even comprehend myself. But they're doing pretty well. Same with Genoa. Genoa's also expanding at a pretty fast rate, too. Rosemarkie can't even really manage to get a single town done. But, how do I want to put that? They're getting there. They disassembled Rosemarkie, and then they, kind of didn't even finish one town. But, it's the thought that counts. It is the thought that counts. But, I'll just read you off a crash course of every single royal that is in Scotland, and at the end of this video you'll have a updated map, a Provence map, and all that. That way it'll be right there, and there should be timestamps in the description for when those will come up, right? So, of course, I'm back as king. You have Duke Copper of Genoa. Queen Ash is back. Yep, Ash is returned. Junks is back as the Baron of Gillespie and Earl of Quincy, because Helmsdale annexed Quincy, making it very one long dukedom, right? We have a Baron Alistair of a smaller fort right outside of Melrose. We have Red Death, which we all know Red Death, classic fella, and he is running over the town of Twat. We have a newer Baron called Screen Name, and they're running over the smaller town of Kelty. You have Baron Happy Face, which is running over Queensferry now, I'm pretty sure. The main town of Queensferry. And is building a few other towns, including a federal contract for the town of Pleen. You have Duke Ace back as the Duke of Queensferry, of course. You have Sal back as the Duke of Rosemarkie. Caden's back as the Duke of Melrose. KZ's back as the Duke of Helmsdale. Yeah, the first Duke back. I can't believe it. We have Duke Saber of Aberdeen, right? And then we have Earl Aaron of Inverness, which he was there before. We have Lama back as the Earl of Checkintosh. Zoc is the Earl of Pittenweem, which I think is a nice, fun mix-up, to be honest. Then we have Regent Blackbird of Melrose, Regent Blaze of Aberdeen, Regent Fish of Rosemarkie, Regent Haughty of Ayr, Regent Fish of Queensferry, Regent Doggy of Helmsdale, and then what's it called? You have Chris, that's the Baron of Peebles and Selkirk, and that covers basically everybody in royal up positions. So you have, some idea, but we'll take you on for a smaller tour through everything, and then we'll come back. We've transferred over to Rosemarkie, and you've seen part of the walls and the cliff faces have been remodeled, but all the housing inside has been completely torn apart, taking this 5-point city and forcing it down just to 2. And this is the capital of Rosemarkie, so you can only imagine what it's doing. But if we just transfer over real quick, the little town of Fort Rose over there, and roll through the mountains, we will roll upon Kelty, the small ice town that used to not even exist. But now, it's becoming something. There is hope here. And then, as you can see, over here, this is the fort that caused all the problems. That used to be Genoan, but now it's under Rosemarkie, and was formerly known as Fort Zoidberg, because, the Mud Fort episode. But in response to all that, and the tensions rising, Genoa has put one fort there, Rosemarkie responding with one there. Then we go along here real quick along the coast, and we have another fort right there, and then a third fort right down the lane here. So you have 3 forts, if not 4, all within eye shot of each other, and a whole town that are owned by 2 different dukedoms. And then if you transfer over to this side, Queensferry joined in on the little arms race, with Rosemarkie building a fort here to respond to that monstrosity, which isn't even finished yet. But it's supposed to be something. I just don't know what. But if we roll down through the rolling valleys of Queensferry, we roll into Dalmany, which is planned for extension. But, as you can see, Dalmany's still Dalmany. But Queensferry has some promise to it. As you can see, it seems to be coming more to life, you could say. But then again, it still has a lot of work to be done. And I don't know what it is, but the Queensferrians love their weird piss-off towers. And I'm not going to show you their chunk error that they did because God save. But besides that, we'll go bounce up towards Helmsdale. And explain to you what happened there. And now we made it to Helmsdale. They've recently acquiesced Queensferry, not Queensferry, Quincy, and we no longer have to see any of the Quincy clan here within Scotland. But some renovations have been made to the little dukedom of Helmsdale, where they now have a church. Some of the buildings look a lot better, but it's still pretty empty. Well, they got a little scratch road down, leading up to Glosspie, which is it's a nice little town. But then again, Caden did build the town, so it was a nice little town. I don't know how to feel. But yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed today's news report. Of course, we're glad to be back with the Scottish News Network. And now that I figured out how to use OBS and CapCut, we'll start having reports more often, a lot more often, because a lot of crazy shit happens on Scotland. And at the end of this video, there's going to be a little stupid ragtime little thing at the end with all the weird screenshots I've gotten on Scotland within like the two, not 2 weeks, like not even a month that it's been open again. And maybe me reading off some of the random news stories that I've come across because you know what? Why not? Or screenshots of said news stories because God, the amount of newspapers that have popped up, right? And now, what's it called? The Air Publishing Company owns, I think it's three different news networks now, which is the Scottish News Network, which we thank you for watching, the Air Arbiter, and the Alba Associated Press. So yeah, that's always fun. But besides that, we hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.
Wait.